So we'll try to end this as soon as possible. So this will be for my questions about Musyarakah Mutanaqisah. So before we go into the issues on why it is not, you know, used widely in Malaysia, so we'll go to the basic questions like what is Musyarakah Mutanaqisah?
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. So this one for which course may I know? For which program?
Uh,
This
Islamic Wealth Management.
Islamic Wealth Management. For which
Yeah.
course you are doing this assignment?
We're doing
Subject for
course,
this not
subject.
yet. Hmm.
We're doing subject for Sistem Kewangan Islam. It is actually a subject for outside the faculty.
Okay, so regarding Musharaka Mutanakisha, can you hear me now?
Yes, doctor, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Musharaka Mutanakisa, we know Musharaka is partnership, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Mutanakisa means diminishing, means something decreasing slowly. So Musharaka Mutanakisa in English, it is called diminishing partnership. The partnership that will decrease slowly. So normally in the practical sense, Musharaka Mutanakisa, when customer need, for example, this one, the home financing product, right? This one very much used for home financing. So when a customer needs the financing to buy the home, customer go to the bank, and at the first place, they will buy a home with having a partnership, both of them. Customer, let's say, pay the 10% and bank will pay 90%. So at the first place, they should have partnership. That's why it is called musharaka. So customer will pay 10% capital and bank will pay 90% capital, 100%. So after that, they will buy the home, right? So now the home belong to both of them. They are joint ownership on the home, right? This is called partnership. So now customer, this is of course in the agreement, will come one by one. Customer will rent this home, or this house can be rent to other person as well, no problem. But normally in the agreement customer need home, right? So customer can rent this home and customer will pay the rental. So this rental, of course, customer got 10% ownership. So customer will pay only 90% rental amount. Let's say if the rent is at the beginning in the first installment, if the rent is 1000 ringgit, so customer will pay 900, right? Because he has already 10% ownership, so he doesn't need to pay the 10%. So he will pay 900. Okay. And although also in the installment, because customer is slowly going to buy the ownership of the home, the equity of the bank. So customer need to pay also some other extra amount for equity purchase, right? Let's say if the rent is 1000 and another 500 for buying the equity of the bank. So altogether will be 1500 rent. Okay. So this is first installment. So once he pay the first installment, now customers ownership become, let's say assume one installment means 1% ownership. So first installment pay, now customer ownership become 11% and bank's ownership becomes 89%, right? So this is now the decreasing started, right? Customer ownership become 12%, bank's ownership decreasing and becomes 88%. And this is how at the end customer ownership become 100% and bank's ownership become 0%. So bank's equity become 0 and customer equity become 100%. So this is how it is called Musyarakah Mutanaqisah. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, doctor. So I have it. Uh, so for next question for me, why does the Masyarakat Mutanaqisah that requires so much legal documentation compared to other home financing products? There's so many documentations to be done at Masyarakat Mutanaqisah, but other products uh, such such as uh, what do they call the other one?
BBA,
Yeah, BBA, IMBT, NCM, and
MBT.
yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Normally, documentation is normal for Islamic banks because Islamic banks always all Islamic products depends on the contract. Hmm? Even sometimes they have the hybrid contract or hybrid product means one product they have many contracts. So that's why they need to have mm, many documentation. For example, if it is just simple conventional, then they just only one agreement, lending and borrowing. So they might need to maintain only one set of document for one contract. But in Musharaka Mutanakisa, you see how many contracts here. First of all, there might have the promise agreement between customer and the bank, and then they will have partnership agreement, and then they will have rental agreement, right? And
Mm.
sometime they could have transfer of ownership or transfer of the property agreement or may not sometime, right? So because of having multiple contract, they need to maintain multiple documentation, right, for each and every contract. But I think the Ijara Muntahiya and BBA also might need the quite a big documentation as well, right? Not very much difference. So I would say it is normal for Islamic banks, and this documentation is very much needed to protect the right and responsibilities of both banks and customers. Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next, I want to ask you, how does Musyarakah Mutanaqisah works?
Yeah, this is, I think I already answered by what is Musharaka Mutanakisa in the definition, right? Because I give you the whole scenario, how it works. The concept is very simple, decreasing the ownership of one partner. So because in the bank, in the banking sector, the banks is the financier, the bank is the capital provider. So bank's equity always, because who need the bank, who need the home? Customer. Who want to get the ownership of the home? Customer. Who needs money? Customer. So ultimately, the product must be designed in such a way that at the end, customer will get the home and bank will get back his money with profit, right? So that's why the bank's equity will be decreasing and customers' equity will be increasing, right? In the practical sense, maybe when customer comes to the bank, first of all, they should have promise agreement, right? Promise, maybe promise for that when they buy the home on the partnership. So customer will take the home as a rent. Customer will rent the home, or bank will lease rent the home to the customer. So this could be a one-sided promise, unilateral promise binding. And of course, for this one at the first stage, maybe the bank can ask from the customer some sort of security or hamish jiddiya it is called, right? Serious money, serious margin to show that the customer are serious to continue the agreement and to buy the home and to continue the installment and so on. So this is how it starts with the promise. But promise is not the main part of the agreement, right? And promise cannot be the integral part of the agreement. Promise is some extra agreement to support as a supporting agreement, supporting clause. And then They will have the partnership, they will buy the home, and then the rental agreement. But the ownership will be always changing, right? Based on the paying the amount of installment. Okay, and ultimately at the end, customer becomes the full owner of the house. This is how it works.
Next question, I will ask you, why do other home financing products such as IMBT become more popular than Musyarakah Mutanaqisah?
I think this question, how do you know that IMBT is more popular? Is it
Uh,
true?
I think I know Ijarah Mutanahiyah bit Tamalik better
Mm-hmm.
than Musyarakah Mutanaqisah.
Better.
Yes.
How do you think better? Why?
Uh, I never heard about Musyarakah Mutanaqisah before. Uh, I ask my friend. They know about IMBT, but they don't know what is Musyarakah Mutanaqisah.
Oh, and that's why you thought it is better.
Yes.
No, sometimes something is popular in one country which is not popular in other country. So it doesn't mean it is better, it is not better, right? So Musharaka Mutanakisa only previously few banks they started to offer Musharaka Mutanakisa in Malaysia. I think now maybe there are no product on Musharaka Mutanakisa. Maybe one or two banks could offer. I mean, Musharaka Mutanakisa is not common for Malaysia. And IMBT Ijara Muntahabi Tamlik also not common for Malaysia. It was common in the Middle East. That's why if you ask the Malaysian market or Malaysian people in the Malaysian market, they might not familiar with Ijara Muntahabi Tamlik. But yes, they know ITAB, Ijara Summa Al Bay. ITAB and IMBT Ijara Muntahabi Tamlik is actually same. Only the difference is transferring the ownership. So Malaysian market they knows ITAB, Ijara Montehi Tamrik. That's one for car financing. That's why some people know, some people, but it doesn't mean it is better. It is not better. Okay. Anyway, the operational process is different in Ijara Montehi Tamlik and in Musharaka Mutanakisa. Okay. Um, Musharaka Mutanakisa starts with the partnership, but Ijara Montehi Tamlik no need partnership. There is no partnership. The bank will purchase the home and the bank will give the rent, will lease the home to the customer. Customer will pay the rental and ultimately customer will get the home. In some process is similar, but some are different. So the main difference is Ijara Monteha Bitamlik only main contract is Ijara. And then at the end, they will choose any of the way to transfer the ownership. It could be by the way of sale contract, by the way of gift, and sale contract also it could be with the token price or with the market price or with other remaining some installments. This is how Ijara Muntahi Bitamlik works. But Musharaka Mutanakasa is different. It has partnership first, and then rental, and then automatically customer will get the ownership. The main issue in Malaysia not working Musharaka Mutanakasa is actually about the developer developing the house. Is about developing the house, because let's say customer and bank they got the agreement on Musharaka Mutanakisa to buy a home, right? And they give money to the developer, but developer couldn't complete the development of the house. You know, abandoned house project, abandoned housing is a big issue in Malaysia. Because of that, the bank sometimes are not interested to do this kind of home financing, because if developer couldn't complete the house, then who will take this responsibility? What will happen? Customer pay all the installment, or should bank ignore all the installments? It's a big issue, right? So that's why some bank they try to be selective in choosing the developer. They only deal with few developers, those who have good performance. But I think that one also not very much successful. So the main issue is in the housing project, development of the house. It's not the contract musharaka. It's not the contract ijara. Okay. Another thing, Malaysian market, they know about tawarruk, right? You know tawarruk, commodity, murabaha, organized tawarruk. You know all this stuff. So tawarruk also now using to offer the home financing. So it's very easy. Tawarruk contract is very easy and can give in cash easily to the customer. That's why the Malaysian banks are now practicing in all products, be it is home financing, car financing, credit card, all they are using Tawarruk, overusing Tawarruk. So this is very much controversial issue happening, and this is not common the other market like Middle East and others. Okay, so because of all this, Musyarakah Mutanaqisah is not very much in Malaysian market. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. So I have two questions, but I think you have already answered my first
Yeah.
question.
Yes, yes.
So for the next question is in implementing Musyarakah Mutanaqisah, BNM gives Islamic banks choice of whether to execute Musyarakah Mutanaqisah with or without wa'ad. So is wa'ad now one of the main factors contributing of the decline of Musyarakah Mutanaqisah?
Um, yes, with WAD, it will very much effective, and the risk will be somehow will be lower than without WAD. So WAD is a kind of commitment, right, from the customer. WAD is promise, even though it is in Sharia, in Islam, it is not binding, but in law, it can be binding if it is from one side promise only, unilateral promise. Binding means you have to follow, and anything happen if you don't follow, you have to bear the consequences, right? So let's say customer comes to the bank and customer got all the money, got the home. Suddenly, after a few times, customer doesn't want to continue, and then what will happen to the bank? How bank recover his money, his financing? So in the case of WAD, customer has to bear the consequences. If customer doesn't want to continue, he has to pay all the financing amounts and all other liabilities. Okay. So yeah, forward it is very much effective and secure. That's why even many other products also now offering with this clause word promise. But promise cannot be binding from both sides. Can be binding only one side. So from customer side, promise is binding, but from bank side, promise can be non-binding. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Doctor. This is our next question for you. Uh, the first one from me is why is the Islamic base rate, which is IBR, is used to calculate the bank's effective profit rate, whilst the Musyarakah Mutanaqisah rental rate can be adjusted according to the economic conditions.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is also a good question. Yeah, in Musyarakah Mutanaqisah, there is a positive, there is a good flexibility that the rental amount can be adjusted based on the market rent. But you see, if you leave it like this, the rental can be adjusted with the market rate. So there could bring some amount of gharar, uncertainty. It is how much, it is what could be, right? Maybe at that moment, with this uncertainty, it is very tough, or it will not be possible for the bank to calculate the whole price, whole financing amount with the profit, right? So to remove this gharar or to make this gharar under control, you must have something that you can refer. Okay, anything happen, yeah, we will use the market trend, but our base rate will be this profit rate, for example, this IBR. It means we will not take more than what is uh, coming by IBR, or we follow in the calculation, we follow this IBR. Okay, or you can put an amount, minimum and maximum. So whatever happen, we don't go beyond this amount. This is how you can control the gharar, and this is how customer also can have an idea that how much he gonna pay if anything happen. Okay, so I think IBR is just a benchmark, because for any calculation, for any profit, for any markup, you must have a benchmark, right? So if you just leave it, we use the market rent, then it could have the gharar. So to remove this gharar or to control this gharar, IBR is using, so that customer can have an idea that if anything happen, how much he has to pay. Wallahu alam.
Okay, this is our last question for you, Doctor.
Mhm.
In your opinion, can we consider that the Musyarakah Mutanaqisah is obsolete?
What do you mean by absolute?
Uh, you think that Musyarakah Mutanaqisah uh, Musyarakah Mutanaqisah is not tak meluas kat Malaysia?
Musyarakah Mutanaqisah is not good in Malaysia. Or what?
Yeah.
This is you mean?
Yes.
Musyarakah Mutanaqisah is a good product, because the underlying product is Musyarakah partnership. So there is no issue in this product. Other country are using, some other country, for example, Bangladesh market is using HPSM, higher purchase with Shirkatul milk. This is also like Musyarakah Mutanaqisah using. But as I said, why Musyarakah Mutanaqisah is not working successfully in Malaysian market? Because Malaysian market always try to follow the easiest one, which is no risk, huh? And which is easy to follow, easy to give money to the people. The first challenge in Malaysian market now having tawarruk. Once Malaysian market got this tawarruk, commodity morabaha or organized tawarruk, this tawarruk actually come only to address the liquidity problem, liquidity management. Even the other global standard, AOF Sharia standard, they also said tawarruk munazzam is okay, but this is only for liquidity purpose. But now Malaysian market using this tawarruk for all the products. You want home financing, can use tawarruk. You want car financing, can use tawarruk. You want other financing, can use tawarruk. Tawarruk means just a simple technique to give you cash. So it's very easy, very there is no risk, except maybe might have credit risk, but other kind of risk. That's why for me, this is a big challenge. When there is tawarruk in any market, other products, other contract will not work. No Morabaha, no Musharaka, no Ijara, no others, no BBA. This is number one. Number two is Musharaka Mutanaqisah is not working here, as I said, the development issue, right? And the banks also are not interested because of this abandoned project, right? Number three is not to understand the concept, or the lack of awareness, because previously it was BBA. BBA also involved with Bayul Ina, which was also was kind of straightforward, right? Uh, and the risk side also, maybe the risk for the bank is not much compared to Musharaka Mutanaqisah. And also, yeah, customer willingness, awareness, the bank seriousness to offer this. You see, even the mainstream bank in Malaysia, I think they did not offer Musyarakah Mutanaqisah. Right? Maybe they are not convinced enough, or maybe they don't want to take this kind of risk or other things. So all this together makes it failure in Musyarakah Mutanaqisah. But the contract itself is very fine, and there is no issue. But the issue is the implementation, right? The implementation. There was a study on Musyarakah Mutanaqisah, I think, a few years back, and the journal I read in Turkish Journal of Islamic Economics. Turkish Journal of Islamic Economics published an article written by one professor from IIUM, Musyarakah Mutanaqisah. Why it's not working and what are the issues? So if you don't have this article, you can download and you can see. You will get also some ideas on this. All right. Okay. Thank you.
So I think that is all from us. I'd like to thank you, Doctor, again for joining us with the interview for our assignment. And we are and I would apologize if there is any mistakes or any disturbance happened during, before, or after this interview. So we'd like to thank you again for joining us, and we will end our session with what do you call photography session.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you also, and wish you all the
Thank you,
best
Doctor.
for your assignment. Good luck.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Doctor.
thank you. Inshallah.
3, 2, 1. Oops. One more. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you again, Doctor.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Salah.
Salam.
Settle.
Hilman apa ni?
Oh, ni nanti aku kena crop nanti. Dia punya tu. Apa, ya, tu video nanti. Nanti aku hantar.
Okay.
Alright, geng. Dah, bersurai. Nak tidur-tidur lah. Kenapa, Yemi? Kenapa?
Boleh.
Bedai-bedai.
Settle. Bye.
Alright.